First thing we'll do is stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, can we have a roll call, please, Christy?
Bierstead.
Here.
Downing.
Here.
Gagne.
Here.
Morse.
Here.
Dean. Here. Page.
Here.
Watson.
Here.
Okay, next we have approval of the minutes from the April 16th retreat and organizational meeting and the April 23rd regular and closed session meeting.
I move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Next we move on to approval of the bills with Mr. Page.
Mr. Mayor, I move for approval of the bills in the amount of $3,315,639.13, subject to the comptroller.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Next, move on to public comments. If there's anybody in the audience has anything they'd like to say, now would be the time to stand up.
Bing. My name is Mary Spindler. I'm a resident of River Falls. I live at 96 East Johnson Street. And I'll speak into the mic. The reason that I'm here this evening is to address the concern that I have regarding future development here in River Falls. I live immediately adjacent to 1300 South Main Street, the former location of the River Falls Motel. I have owned my home here in River Falls since 2007 and very much enjoy the community, the atmosphere, the aggressive development in the city, the wonderful atmosphere here, friendly neighbors, and I certainly appreciate what the City Council has done to improve the quality of life for all people here. The reason that I am attending is because I have encountered a series of problems with the lot since 2007. For all of you who recall, we had a severe thunderstorm in 2008, and at that time I expressed extreme concern to the city, a city official, the building inspection department, because of water that was coming into my house in floods. I did address a letter to the City Council members present concerning the future economic development of this lot. I have been in contact with Gerard Development in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Apparently they have been approved for some funding through WIDA. This is grant funding that will support this project. My personal development plan since I owned my house in 2007 is to improve the property, make it welcoming, looking good, adding a deck, sidewalks. I was just in the process of putting in new windows, a new roof, new siding, and many other developments until April 4th when we had this severe snowmelt, very quick snowmelt, and subsequently on April 17th. Historically, I have been in contact with the former owners of the property since 2008 when I first started having problems with it. This was water coming from that lot into my home and flooding my basement to a depth of 3 inches. Again, at that time, I did talk to the building inspector. There was some issues with fallen down gutters, some lack of maintenance on that property, and subsequently, he did cite the owner for those problems, and they were corrected. Since that time, what has occurred has been subsequent problems. I've replaced 50 square yards of carpeting twice, ultimately deciding that I should probably put ceramic tile on this basement floor, which I did. personally. On April 17th, a huge deluge of floodwater came from an adjacent lot, and I understand I have contacted the city engineers, and Crystal came out, and one of the other folks in the in the engineering department to say that yes, there are some elevation problems there. However, since the building was raised in 2016, the problems have gotten worse. Now, I have been in contact with Dave Hovell at the Building Inspection Department, and I understand that the City Council, with City Council approval, in order to raise the building, was submitted to the current owner. And along with that along with that order and letter from the city was excavation to prevent erosion. I have seen Dave Hovell was very nice and sent me a copy of the permit that was issued to the owner. However, the permit did not address the order to prevent erosion. I'm not entirely certain that any type of silt fencing was used at the time the building was raised. But at this point, my house has about $35,000 worth of damage. I have had to completely remove all sheetrock and all improvements that I've made to my home in the years that I've owned it. And I want to know if, what is the purpose of improving one lot for the detriment of the one next to it? And I asked the City Council to look into this. I know that the future development plans 2018 through 2022 include this lot. And from what I understand, it's going to be a 50-unit affordable housing development with a garage space underneath. And because I'm to the east of the house, or east of this lot, I don't think I'll ever be seeing the sun again. So at this point, I would like the City Council to be aware of the detriment to my property at the expense of developing another city lot. I thank you for your time.
Thanks, Mary. And Mary, if you want, you feel free to give me a call, and me and you and Dave and Crystal can sit down and talk more about this.
Well, I have.
If you want.
I have had a conversation with Dave this afternoon.
Okay.
And I have asked him to send me some more information about, because the erosion plan was not followed. I don't even know if there was any excavation of the lot. All I know is that the buildings were removed. And I have about 3 inches of silt in one room. I have had to contact an engineering firm to do a sub-level evaluation using ground-penetrating radar on my home, because when I was remodeling my bathroom several weeks ago before this flood, the building contractor and the sewer contractor noticed that there was a lot of soil missing around the sewer lines. I do have a sump pump and a drain tile system in my home. The sump pump became overworked during the April 17th storm and quit. My insurance company has declined any responsibility for this claim, and I feel that possibly there may be some culpability on the part of the city for not following through on the erosion plan. But thank you.
Yep. Anybody else? No? Okay. I just want a quick note about this summer. We're going to try something new. We're going to put on a cookout. We're going to do 4 cookouts this summer, and the first one's going to be June 6th at the Sterling Parks Sterling Ponds Park, which has 870 Edenburg Drive. And we'll do 4 of them, and each one will be in one of the different districts of the city. And we'll be sending all the information out. It'll be in the newspaper, and people will get it in the mail and everything. But the first, just to remind everybody, the first one is June 6th. So everybody's welcome. Come on out, talk to the council members, talk to me. Questions, tell us how great of a job we're doing, whatever you want to talk about. But there'll be hot dogs and drinks and ice cream and all that fun stuff. So hopefully everybody can make it. So anyways, let's go on to, we got a liquor license presentation. Our deputy clerk, Jackie Sanau, will provide a little presentation for us.
There we go. All right. Well, good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Jackie Sano. I'm the Deputy City Clerk. Tonight I'm going to give a presentation on the 2019-2020 liquor licensing requirements. So kind of the licensing basics. A liquor license is a privilege granted by the local governing authority and can only be used by the person to whom it is issued. So the liquor licensing is governed by the Wisconsin State Statutes Chapters 125 and 139, by the tax codes 7, 8, and 9, and by Chapter 5.8 of the Municipal Code for the City of River Falls. So kind of the magic question that people have is, do I need a license? So no owner or person in charge of a public place may permit the consumption of alcohol on the premises unless that person has an appropriate license or permit. The license allows persons to sell alcoholic beverages to individual retail customers from a particular place or premises. And the sale must occur at the licensed premises with the buyer and the seller both physically present at the time of the sale. So a little bit more on that. If any charges are made directly or indirectly or in recovery for the cost for a private event are for alcoholic beverages, the state requires the person in charge to hold the appropriate license. So if the ticket price includes an alcoholic beverage or the cost of a meal includes an alcoholic beverage, donation required in order to be able to consume alcoholic beverage, you would have to have the appropriate license. So in general terms, if you're going to serve alcohol at an event, the best practice would be to contact the clerk's office to determine the appropriate licenses or requirements. So these are all the different types of licenses. So we've got our Class A beer, Class A liquor, a combination Class A, and a Class A cider. There's the Class B beer, Class B liquor, the combination Class B, a temporary Class B, and the Class C wine. So the quotation marks placed before the word class and after the letters means a liquor license, and the quotes around the letters only means a fermented malt beverage. So the first class I'm going to go over is our Class A license. So kind of a tip or a trick for remembering is A for away. So this is for the sale of off-premise consumption in the original package or container only. The city currently has 12 licenses issued in this category. So the next class that I'm going to go over is the Class B license. So kind of the trick for this one, B for bar. This is for the sale for consumption on premise or off premise. The off premise sale must be in the original unopened container. The city currently has 26 of these licenses issued. But with that being said, there is a quota that goes with the combination Class B license. So that quota was established in 1997, and the city has 19 combination licenses that we can give out. Currently, all 19 are issued. So we do also have 5 reserve licenses that do carry a $10,000 fee in addition to the $600 license fee. Currently, no reserve licenses are issued. The temporary Class B license, this allows bona fide clubs or chambers of commerce and churches to sell beer and or wine at a short duration gathering. We also call it our picnic license. And then our Class C license. This allows restaurants or places with food service to sell wine. It's a license for a restaurant where the sale of alcohol accounts for less than 50% of their gross receipts. Establishments that have a Class C license also have to carry the Class B beer license. We currently have 5 Class C licenses issued. So onto the application process. So an application form must be completed and received in the clerk's office 15 days prior to council action. A public hearing is scheduled and placed on the council agenda. The notice of public hearing is published in the newspaper, and record checks are conducted by the police department. Each place also has to appoint an agent. So all corporations and limited liability companies must appoint an agent. An agent is given the full authority and control over the licensed premise and over all commercial activities on the premise relating to alcoholic beverages. And an individual or partnerships are treated as actual persons and carry the same responsibility as the agent. Applicants have a background check completed. They must be a Wisconsin resident for at least 90 days, and they must have completed the responsible server course. So during the renewal time, which is what we're in right now, renewal letters were sent out in early April. And then those that were returned by the deadline of May 3rd will be placed on the next council agenda, which is May 28th, and a personal appearance by the agent is required. The licenses are only good for 1 year, and they begin on July 1st. And then if the agent does not appear, the application will be tabled to the next council meeting. Currently, we have 33 applications that we've received. Are there any questions?
Anybody got any questions for Jackie? No?
Jackie, how many, we have 33 in.
Right.
How many total do we have that should be turned in? Do you understand the question?
Yep,
I'm asking?
I am missing 2 applications right now.
When's their deadline?
Well, their deadline was May 3rd, so now I'm working with them because obviously they won't be able to come to the May 28th meeting, so I'm working to get them into the next June meeting. Obviously, we don't want to have them go through the 3 city council meetings, both in June and then the one in May. So I'm working with them because they have to get their stuff turned in 15 days prior. So I've been on their case.
Good.
Thank you.
But either way, if they don't turn it in, then as of June 30th, they're done anyway.
Correct.
So they've got to be responsible for their own
Correct.
stuff too. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jackie. Okay, now we're going to close the council hearing and open up a public hearing on resolution approving a mandate waiver regarding Wisconsin Act 243, housing report requirements. This resolution would approve requesting an exemption from section 66.10013 of the Wisconsin statute. And does anybody in the audience have anything they want to say about this? Okay, we'll close the public hearing. We want to reopen up the council hearing.
Mr. Mayor, I move for the approval of the resolution approving a mandate waiver regarding Wisconsin Act 243.
Second.
Questions or comments?
Although I'm in favor of this, and I am supporting it, I just want to say, I have my own task force, and what we're doing is, and these are people who are community developers who just want to serve the city. We're coming up with our own report we want to just give to the city as an advisory role, not as a piece of legislation or anything. But yeah, I think this is good. I think it'll give us ample time to get where we need to be as a city. So with that, I move approval.
Anybody else have any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Okay, next we will look at ordinance 2019-07, amending the official parking control map, revising no parking zone, 700 block on St. Croix Street. This is the first reading. Does the council have anything they want to ask about this?
I guess I just got a question. Anytime we change parking in any kind of zone, I know this was brought up due to some traffic flow restrictions in the business district. But was there any negative feedback regarding the change from the neighboring properties?
I don't believe so, was there? Not that,
Zach from
Oh, come on
engineering
up,
is
Zach.
here.
Zach knows.
So Zach Grenier from engineering, and I've worked with Tom Overland and Reed Ronsky and Gordy on this one. Tom was in contact with the owner of the West Wind, Tony, and got, from what I understand, all positive feedback, and that seems to be the only major business that could be potentially impacted, and we haven't heard anything else negative, or I haven't.
Fantastic. I'd just like to make sure that have some clarity for the public when we change street public parking, that we're not hindering the local businesses, and that was brought up to them, so. I'm
Zach,
in
we're only
favor of it.
losing one spot, right?
Yeah, it's 30 feet.
Essentially.
Yeah, the only room for one vehicle to park that you'd lose.
okay.
Yep.
So the second reading will be at the May 28th meeting. Next, move on to administrator's report. If anybody's got any questions for Scott, or Scott, you got anything?
I just mentioned that we will not have the need to recess into closed session. So the council, there'd be an update probably at your next meeting, but there isn't, I don't have a report or an item to cover in that. This is the some of the council members' favorite week of the year. May 13 to 18 is spring cleanup for city residents. This is a service that's provided through the charge that they pay on the for refuse and recycling services. We offer a spring and a fall cleanup. So 4 to 8 p.m. each weeknight, and then Saturday it's 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. This all takes place at the city's public works facility. There's lots more information on the city's website. There are some fees for some items, but most of the items, or many items, are free disposal. We just encourage, as we always do, if you've got neighbors, if you're making trips, the less vehicles and trailers, the better. So if you can combine, if your neighbor's got a half pickup truckload and so do you, it'd be good to have one pickup. Keeps the lines down, and it's a neighborly thing to do. May 20th will be testing a next test of the weather sirens at 1 p.m. And City Hall offices will be closed on May 27th in honor of Memorial Day. I'd be happy to take any questions you might have.
Anybody got anything for Scott? Okay. The only other thing is, I got one proclamation I'd like to read. This is designating May 19th through May 25th is National Public Works Week. So, whereas public works services provided in our community are an integral part of our citizens' everyday lives, and whereas the support of an understanding and informed citizenry is vital to the efficient operation of public works systems and programs such as water, sewers, streets and highways, public buildings, and solid waste collection. And whereas the quality and effectiveness of these facilities, as well as their planning, design, and construction, is vitally dependent on the efforts and skill of public works officials. Now therefore, I, Mayor Dan Tolan of the City of River Falls, do proclaim the week of May 19th through 25 of 2019 as National Public Works Week, and call upon all the people of River Falls to acquaint themselves with the issues involved in providing our public works, and to recognize the contribution which public works officials make every day to our health, safety, comfort, and quality in life. Given under my hand and seal of the City of River Falls this 14th day of May, 2019. Thanks.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.